This video is about Odysseus fights monster but ship damages. If this myth excites you, please like the video, share it with friends, and write in the comments how it pulled you into the adventure. Part 1: The Gathering Storm. In the age when gods walked among mortals and legends were born under the sun's watchful gaze, there lay a kingdom ruled by valor and wisdom, a place known as Ithaca. Here Odysseus, son of Laertes, reigned as king, renowned for his cunning and bravery. Unbeknownst to him, a storm was brewing, one that would test the very essence of his spirit. The sun dipped low in the sky, painting the horizon with hues of crimson and gold. Odysseus stood on the rugged cliffs overlooking the restless sea. His heart, heavy with the weight of past adventures, felt an ominous pull, as though the fates themselves were whispering a prophecy of doom. With each crashing wave, a deep chill coursed through him, igniting an unquenchable fire of foreboding. "Father of the gods, hear my heart," he murmured, his voice laced with both reverence and defiance. Above him, Zeus, king of Olympus, surveyed the mortal realm, his stormy eyes glimmering with the knowledge of imminent chaos. For deep beneath the waves, an ancient monster had awakened, a Typhon, the father of all storms and tempests, stirred with wrath and vengeance against the world above. On that fateful evening, as Odysseus summoned his trusted warriors, a pall fell over the gathering. Each man's face bore the scars of countless battles, their eyes reflecting the weight of fate. Among them stood the mighty Ajax, whose unmatched strength had earned him the title of the Bulwark of Greece, and the crafty Diomedes, whose sharp wit matched the edge of his sword. "Odysseus, what dark tidings summon us at this hour?" asked Ajax, his voice booming like thunder. "I can taste the salt of challenge in the air." Odysseus turned to his men, his eyes ablaze with determination. "A great evil stirs beneath the waves, my brothers. Typhon awakens, and with him storms that could swallow our ships whole. We must seek him out, face the beast, or risk losing our lands to his fury." Diomedes leaned close, his brows knitted in concern. "But what of our ships? We cannot face such a creature without a fleet to carry us into battle. The seas are treacherous, and our vessels are worn from past struggles." A shadow fell over the gathering, the air thickening with tension. As if in answer to Diomedes' words, dark clouds began to swell above, heralding the approach of the impending storm. Lightning cracked, illuminating the men's faces, revealing their deep-seated fears and unyielding resolve. "Then we shall forge new ships," Odysseus declared fiercely. "We will gather the finest wood from the sacred groves of the Donor. Blessed by the gods, we will labor through the night, for Ithaca's fate rests in our hands." With unwavering determination, the warriors set to work, their hands moving like a tempest of their own. The air crackled with energy as the gods watched from above, their fates intertwined with those of mere mortals. Athena, goddess of wisdom, observed closely, her heart swelling with pride for her favorite hero. Amidst the toil, she descended from Olympus, her golden armor gleaming. "Brave Odysseus, your courage ignites the hearts of your men, but beware the trials ahead. Typhon will not yield easily." "Fear not, divine Athena," he replied, his voice steady. "With your guidance and the strength of my companions, we shall conquer the beast or die trying." As night fell, the warriors finished their vessels. The ships, reborn with magic and resolve, gleamed under the light of the moon. Each figurehead, intricately carved, bore the likeness of their ancestors, valiant heroes who had faced adversity with honor. They set sail at dawn, their hearts united in purpose but heavy with the specter of the unknown. Waves crashed against the hulls as they moved farther from the familiar shores of Ithaca, the winds howling like banshees. The once calm sea morphed into a churning abyss, and the warriors strained against the tempest. Each man gripped the oars with fervor, sweat mingling with the salty spray, their eyes reflecting the determination to face whatever lay ahead. Suddenly, a dark shadow loomed beneath the surface, a serpentine form that coiled through the depths, unseen yet palpably felt. The sea roared with fury, and the winds howled like a funeral dirge. Lightning illuminated the sky as Typhon broke the surface, the beast of colossal proportion, with 100 heads, each screeching in unison, unleashing chaos upon the world. "Steady yourselves," Odysseus bellowed over the din, his heart racing with exhilaration and fear. "Aim for the beast's hearts. Only together can we vanquish this terror." As they drew perilously close, Typhon unleashed a torrent of wind and waves, tossing their ships like mere toys. A great wave crashed against Ajax's vessel, splintering the hull, sending men screaming into the abyss. The warrior's voice rose above the chaos, filled with rage and valor. "Hold fast, we will not fall to this monster." With resolute hearts, the warriors unleashed their arrows, riding the tempests of fate. Each arrow flew true, piercing the beast's flesh, drawing blood that stained the sea a deep crimson. Typhon roared, fury igniting within him. The storm intensified, as if the very heavens were engaged in battle. "Focus, my brothers, or we cannot falter," Odysseus yelled, rallying his men as they fought against despair. Yet the tumult was overwhelming. The beast lashed out, decimating ships with the flick of a tail, sending men flailing to their doom. Odysseus felt the dread creeping in. His ship was taking on water, the wood creaking ominously beneath the strain. The gods watched in silence, their fates entwined with the mortal struggle below. In a moment of desperation, Odysseus turned to Athena, who had remained at his side throughout the turmoil. "Guide my hand, dear goddess, we cannot let Ithaca fall." With a radiant light, she bestowed upon him the knowledge of ancient spells, forgotten by most men. "Call upon the winds, Odysseus, and command them to bend to your will." With newfound resolve, he raised his arms high, calling forth the very essence of the storm. "The winds of Olympus, heed my plea, lend us your strength and guide us to victory." As if answering his prayer, the winds shifted. The tempest quieted momentarily, swirling into a controlled fury. The warriors rallied, hearts aflame with hope as they launched their final assault, a blinding barrage of arrows, first of spears, and cries of valor that echoed throughout the vast expanse of the sea. Typhon, enraged, reared back, his many heads twisting and snapping. The waters surged in turmoil, and in that moment of chaos, Odysseus spotted the weakness, a chink in the beast's armor. He steered his ship closer, bellowing to his men, "Aim for the heart." With unparalleled precision, the warriors unleashed a volley of spears, striking true. Typhon screamed, a sound that shook the very core of the world. His gargantuan form twisted and bucked against the pain, but it was too late. The creature faltered, and the winds began to calm. Yet even in victory, tragedy bore its cruel face. Ajax's ship, battered and broken, drifted into the maw of the storm. "That?" Odysseus cried, witnessing his ally vanish in the swirling chaos. The heart-wrenching sound of Ajax's defiance echoed in his ears, a reminder of the price of war and glory. "Remember him," he shouted to his remaining warriors, his heart heavy. "We fight not just for ourselves, but for fallen brothers." With renewed vigor, they pressed on, striking at the beast until, with a final, earth-shattering roar, Typhon was defeated, his form dissipating into the depths of the sea. As dawn broke over the horizon, the storm cleared, revealing a new beginning, a bittersweet victory marred by loss. But the battle was not over. Odysseus felt the weight of destiny upon him, a looming shadow of future trials that awaited. He steered his battered ship back toward Ithaca, the shores of home rising like a beacon through the remnants of the storm. And as the sun cast its golden rays upon them, he knew the journey had only just begun. The heartbeat of fate echoed in the depths of his soul, whispering of sacrifices yet to come and the trials that would test the very fabric of their honor. Thus, the saga of Odysseus would continue, fraught with the echoes of battles fought and the specters of those lost, a tale woven into the very tapestry of the cosmos, a myth as old as time itself. Part 2: The Shadows of Destiny. The sun's golden rays broke through the dissipating clouds, illuminating the chaotic aftermath of the battle. As Odysseus steered his battered ship toward the shores of Ithaca, he felt the weight of Ajax's loss pressing heavily upon his heart. The echoes of the past reverberated within him, memories of laughter and camaraderie now mingling with the cold sting of grief. "Ajax!" he shouted into the wind, though he knew the warrior would not return. The waves whispered back, mocking his pain. His remaining men, their faces etched with exhaustion, mourned silently, each carrying the burden of their fallen comrade. "Take heart, my brothers," Odysseus called out. "We have faced the fury of Typhon and emerged victorious, but we must honor those lost. Let us remember Ajax not as a fallen warrior, but as a hero whose spirit will guide us on this treacherous path ahead." The men nodded solemnly, their spirits lifted slightly by their king's resolve. They sailed on, the winds now gentle, cradling the ship as though the gods themselves sought to comfort them. Yet, unknown to them, the fates were not finished weaving their intricate tapestry of trials. As they entered the harbor, the cheers of Ithaca's people welcomed them home. Mothers wept with joy, children ran to embrace their fathers, and the air was thick with the scent of roasted lamb and sweet honey. But amidst the celebration, Odysseus felt a dark cloud gathering in his heart. "Where is Penelope?" he asked one of the village elders, his voice strained with worry. The elder's smile faded. "She waited for you, my king, but she has grown anxious. The suitors grow bolder with each passing day. They seek her hand, believing you lost to the sea." A fire ignited within him, fury mingling with his grief. "I shall not allow them to dishonor my house. Gather the men. We ride to the palace to confront those who would claim what is mine." As the villagers prepared for the confrontation, Odysseus felt Athena's presence brush against his spirit. Be cautious, brave Odysseus. The suitors are many, and their hearts are filled with greed, but your cunning can turn the tide. With a steely resolve, Odysseus steeled himself for the challenge ahead. The sun dipped low, casting long shadows upon the land as they approached the grand palace. The door swung open, revealing the lavish hall, filled with the sounds of merriment and feasting. Dare you feast while I battle the storms of fate? Odysseus thundered, the weight of his presence silencing the revelry. The suitors, arrogant and drunk on wine, turned toward him, their faces transforming from shock to disdain. Look who has returned, sneered Odysseus, the most arrogant of the suitors, rising from his seat. The great Odysseus, home at last, or perhaps the sea simply spat you back to us, a mere shadow of your former self. Your words reek of cowardice, Odysseus, Odysseus replied, his eyes glinting like steel. I have returned to reclaim my honor and my wife, leave or face the consequences of your insolence. The suitors laughed, their confidence bolstered by numbers. You think you can threaten us? You are but a man, and we are many, one shouted, brandishing a goblet of wine. In that moment, Odysseus felt the wrath of the gods stirring within him. He glanced at his loyal warriors, each standing ready, the flames of loyalty igniting their eyes. Then let us settle this as men do with honor and strength. With a swift motion, Odysseus drew his sword, its blade glinting in the dim light. The hall erupted into chaos as the suitors scrambled, their bravado crumbling like the very walls around them. Odysseus charged forward, a storming carnate, his sword carving a path of fury through the unworthy. Stand with me, brothers, he roared, thrusting his blade with precision. His warriors followed, their might bolstering his resolve. The clash of steel rang through the hall, a symphony of honor amidst the shouts of betrayal and greed. But for every suitor fell, two more rose to take their place, emboldened by desperation. Odysseus fought with the ferocity of a man possessed, each swing of his sword fueled by the memory of Ajax and the love of Penelope. Yet, as the battle raged, he felt the tide turning against him. Odysseus, shouted Eumaeus, his loyal swineherd, deflecting a blow aimed at his king. We cannot hold them for long, they are too many. Just then, Athena's voice whispered through the chaos, low yet powerful. Will I not unbrawn alone, Odysseus, let your cunning unravel their ranks? In that instant, a plan formed in Odysseus' mind. Brothers, form a circle, we shall protect the heart of our home Penelope's honor. They fought their way toward the great hall as heart, where Penelope watched, horror etched upon her face. She had waited, longing for his return, only to find her home besieged. Odysseus, she cried, her voice rising above the chaos. Fear not, my beloved, he called back, his heart swelling with fierce determination. I shall protect what is dear. With every ounce of strategy he had honed through decades of battle, Odysseus turned the tide. Retreat to the entrance, let them come to us, he shouted, leading his warriors backward, drawing the greedy suitors into a tight space. The suitors hesitated, confusion clouding their eyes as they pressed forward, unaware of the trap that lay before them. Odysseus unleashed a flurry of arrows, each pierce sending a suitor sprawling, their bravado transformed into abject fear. As the last of the suitors fell, Odysseus stood amidst the wreckage, breathless and covered in the scars of battle. His warriors cheered, yet the victory felt hollow. The palace lay in shambles, a testament to the price of honor. Where is Penelope? He called, searching through the wreckage of his home. The echo of his voice trembled against the walls, and a figure emerged from the shadows. Penelope, her face pale yet resolute, stepped forward. Odysseus, she said softly, her eyes brimming with tears. You have returned, but at what cost? My heart rejoices, yet the palace is in ruins, and the lives of many have been lost. He dropped to one knee before her, humility mingling with triumph. Forgive me, my love, I fought to reclaim what is rightfully ours, but I cannot undo the pain. Her hand reached out, fingers brushing against his cheek, a gesture of love and forgiveness. Together we will rebuild, my husband, together we shall rise from the ashes of despair. As they embraced, a shadow loomed over them, the air thickening with an unspoken presence. Athena, her eyes shimmering with divine wisdom, appeared before them, radiating both warmth and authority. Your battle has sparked a new fire within Ithaca, brave Odysseus, she declared. But your journey is far from over. The fates weave threads yet unwritten, and challenges await that will test the very fabric of your honor. What shall I face next, dear goddess? He asked, both fearful and resolute. The tempest of destiny lay before him, swirling with possibilities and dangers yet unseen. A darkness stirs beyond the horizon, where the remnants of Typhon's wrath linger. Seek out the oracle at Delphi, she instructed. Only she can unveil the path you must tread to secure your legacy and protect your home. With newfound purpose, Odysseus nodded. I shall not falter. I will journey to Delphi and learn what the gods have in store for me. As dawn broke over Ithaca, casting light upon the ruins, Odysseus felt the heartbeat of destiny echo in his chest, urging him toward the next chapter of his epic saga. The gods watched from Olympus, their gaze unwavering, as the hero of Ithaca prepared to face the shadows that waited, armed with honor, love, and the indomitable spirit of a warrior born. Thus, the legend of Odysseus continued, weaving a narrative of trials, sacrifices, and the unyielding strength of the human spirit. The story echoed through time, a myth entwined with fate's relentless grip, a reminder that valor shines brightest in the face of despair. Part 3, The Oracle's Whispers. As dawn unfurled its golden wings over Ithaca, the scent of earth and sea mingled with the bittersweet remnants of battle. Odysseus stood at the helm of his battered ship, the prow cutting through the azure waves as they sailed toward the sacred oracle of Delphi. The weight of destiny hung heavy. Each creak of the vessel felt like the echo of Ajax's laughter, a memory that urged him onward, igniting the fire of revenge in his heart. The sun, now a blazing orb in the sky, illuminated the faces of the loyal warriors who remained by his side. Eumaeus, the steadfast swineherd, Telemachus, his beloved son, filled with youthful vigor, and Diomedes, whose cunning matched Odysseus' own. "Father," Telemachus began, his voice steady yet tinged with doubt. "What if the oracle speaks of trials we cannot overcome? What if we are meant to suffer more?" Odysseus turned, his eyes fierce like storm clouds. "We are forged in trials, my son. Each challenge shapes us. We have faced monsters, gods, and enemies aplenty. We shall face this oracle together," he replied, his voice a warm embrace against the chill of uncertainty. As they neared Delphi, the landscape transformed beneath the mighty slopes of Mount Parnassus. The air shimmered with divine energy, and the ethereal whispers of the Pythia, the oracle, beckoned to them like a siren's song. But encasing the sacred site was a thick fog, twisting around ancient temples and sacred pillars, a barrier woven by the fates themselves. "We must tread carefully," Diomedes warned, his keen instincts alert. "Legends speak of the oracle as fickle nature. She may grant knowledge, but it comes at a price." "Let it be a price I am willing to pay," Odysseus declared, determination ignited within him as they disembarked. The warriors ascended the stone steps, feeling the weight of reverence and dread. The temple loomed before them, intricate carvings depicting the battles of gods and men entwined in an eternal dance. Within the temple, the air was thick with incense, swirling like the visions of those who had come before. The oracle, draped in mist, sat upon her throne, a figure shrouded in glory and mystery. Her eyes, deep as the abyss, locked onto Odysseus as if she had seen the very depths of his soul. "Fated hero of Ithaca, you seek the truths that shimmer like stars in the night," she intoned, her voice both melodic and haunting. "But know this, the journey ahead will demand blood and sacrifice. Tell me what I must do." Odysseus implored, his heart pounding with the urgency of 1,000 storms. "I will not shy away from sacrifice if it ensures my home and loved ones are protected. I have lost too much already." The oracle stared, her hands waving through the fog, and visions swirled before Odysseus, a tempestuous sea, a monstrous beast lurking beneath a veil of shadows, and a haunting figure with the face of Ajax, his valiant warrior lost to the depths. "Beware the remnant of Typhon's fury," she warned, her voice echoing through the chamber like the haunting of lost souls. "A creature awakens that demands tribute, a beast born of chaos, thirsting for vengeance against those who struck down its father. What tribute does it seek?" Odysseus pressed, dread creeping into his heart like poison. "Only with the blood of a hero," she whispered, her gaze piercing through him. "Only then shall you quell the storm, but know, Odysseus, that the sacrifice may not be your own." A chill raced down his spine. Was he to sacrifice his son? "I will confront this beast," he vowed, feeling the weight of fate pressing against his resolve. "I will not let my son pay the price. The blood of the hero will be my own." With a shuddering breath, Odysseus turned to his companions. "We must prepare for what lies ahead. We must find this creature and face it together." As they exited the temple, the sun hung low, casting long shadows across the sacred ground, a reflection of the turmoil brewing within their hearts. The warriors gathered, their spirits steeled, and set forth to gather provisions, weapons, and armor for the impending battle. They traveled for days, navigating treacherous terrain and evading the whispers of ancient spirits that sought to confuse them. Each night, Odysseus would sit by the fire, recounting tales of bravery, ensuring his men remembered the honor that lay within their hearts, even as fear clung to them like an unwelcome shroud. On the 4th night, as the moon bathed the world in silver light, they camped near a deep cavern, the air thick with the scent of damp earth. "This is where the oracle spoke of the beast," Diomedes said, peering into the inky blackness. "We must tread carefully, it may sense our fear." "Fear has no place in a warrior's heart," Odysseus replied, drawing his sword. the blade gleaming with anticipation. "Tonight we conquer or fall, but we shall not do so without honor." As they ventured into the cavern, the darkness closed around them, swallowing the sound of their footsteps. Whispers echoed through the stone, chilling their bones. "What if it knows we are here?" Telemachus whispered, his youthful bravado wavering. "Then let it come," Odysseus growled, his resolve unwavering. "We are not merely men, we are warriors of Ithaca." Suddenly, the air shifted, thickening with malice, and a low growl reverberated through the stone walls. The beast emerged, a monstrous creature, a fusion of serpents and beasts, scales glistening like obsidian beneath the dim light. Eyes like molten gold glinted in the darkness, hungry for blood. Odysseus raised his sword, rallying his men with unwavering courage. "Stand strong, we face this creature together." With a roar that echoed through the abyss, the beast lunged, its fangs glistening with venom. Odysseus met its charge, his blade slicing through the air as he aimed for the beast's heart. The clash of steel against scale reverberated, the sheer force of the creature sending him staggering back. "Form a circle," he commanded, grit fueling his voice. As his warriors surrounded him, the beast turned, eyes ablaze with rage. In that moment, Odysseus caught a glimpse of its vulnerability, a soft underbelly glimmering beneath the shadows. "Now," he roared, the battle cry igniting a fire within his warriors. They surged forward, spears and swords thrusting into the creature, a storm of fury unleashed upon the darkness. But the beast was relentless, its many heads striking out, snapping and biting. Telemachus was thrown back, pain etched across his face, but he rose again, determination unyielding. "I will not let you fall, father," he shouted, charging forward once more. "Telemachus, no!" Odysseus cried as he fought valiantly to protect his son. But the creature's tail lashed out, sending Odysseus sprawling into the jagged stone. Dazed and bleeding, he looked up as the beast loomed over his son, poised to strike. "Get back!" Odysseus shouted, summoning every ounce of strength. He surged to his feet, the world spinning around him as he grasped the sword tightly in his hand. With a final, desperate cry, he threw himself against the beast, plunging his sword into the soft underbelly. The creature howled, a cacophony of fury and pain that reverberated through the cavern, shaking the very ground beneath him. The beast thrashed violently, and in that moment, Odysseus felt the weight of the fates upon him, the threads of sacrifice and honor intertwining. "For Ithaca," he shouted, driving the sword deep as the creature let loose its final roar, a chilling symphony of death that echoed through the ages. As it fell, darkness enveloped the chamber, swallowed by the triumphant light of dawn breaking through the cavernous mouth. The beast lay defeated, and Odysseus dropped to his knees, chest heaving with exhaustion and relief. His warriors gathered around him, their breaths heavy yet filled with pride. "We did it!" Telemachus exclaimed, his youthful exuberance overcoming the horror they had just faced. "We faced the darkness and emerged victorious. But at what cost?" Odysseus murmured, the weight of Ajax's spirit heavy upon him. "Let us honor those we have lost and carry their memory forward." As they prepared to leave the cavern, Odysseus felt a presence behind him, a familiar warmth that enveloped his heart. Athena emerged from the shadows, her visage radiant with divine grace. "Brave Odysseus, your sacrifice has quelled the storm, and the honor of Ithaca stands tall," she proclaimed, her voice mellifluous. "But know this greater trials await, and the threads of fate will weave ever tighter. Tell me what lies ahead, goddess," he pleaded, the weight of responsibility heavy upon. "Hashish hash, part 4, the echoes of sacrifice." As Odysseus knelt in the cave's dim light, the weight of victory tasted bittersweet upon his tongue. The echoes of the beast's dying roar reverberated like a mournful dirge, a testament to the price of their triumph. His warriors held their breath, the atmosphere thick with reverence for those who had fallen and gratitude for their own survival. With a trembling hand, he sheathed his sword, the blade stained with the remnants of chaos. "We have conquered this beast," he declared, his voice steadying like a ship finding its course after a storm. "But our journey does not end here. Ajax, a spirit, watches over us, urging us to honor our fallen brothers." Telemachus stepped forward, his youthful face a mix of pride and concern. "Father, we've defeated the creature born of Typhon's wrath, but what of the oracle's warning? She spoke of blood and sacrifice. Will we face another foe?" Odysseus stood, dusting the dirt from his tunic, his heart heavy yet resolute. "We must heed the oracle's words. The fates weave intricate tapestries, and our next challenge lies waiting beyond the horizon." As they emerged from the cavern, the golden sun bathed them in warmth, a stark contrast to the darkness they had just faced. The air was fragrant with the scent of wildflowers, a reminder of life amidst the chaos. Yet, looking beyond the horizon, shadows stretched and twisted, echoing the lingering thread of destiny. With solemn hearts, the warriors began their journey back to Ithaca. As they sailed, Odysseus felt the familiar yet disconcerting pull of the gods. Athena appeared before him, her eyes shimmering like the stars. "Brave Odysseus, you have shown remarkable strength, but shadows stir once more, the remnants of Typhon's fury are not yet quelled, a greater darkness loomed. What must I do?" Odysseus asked, a fire igniting within him. "I will confront whatever threat arises. I cannot let my people suffer again." "Seek the Isle of Shadows," Athena instructed, her voice echoing like a haunting melody. "There lies a creature of ancient magic, a harbinger of despair. Only by confronting it will you secure your legacy and safeguard Ithaca. Prepare your warriors, for the trials ahead will demand every ounce of courage." Odysseus nodded, his heart pounding with resolve. "Then we shall sail to the Isle of Shadows and face this new beast. We will not falter." As they sailed, the sun set in a cascade of fiery hues, casting long shadows across the water. The winds whispered secrets, and the waves seemed to echo the cries of those lost, intertwining past sacrifices with the present. As night fell, they anchored near by the isle, the silhouette of ancient cliffs rising ominously against the starlit sky. "We must be vigilant," Diomedes warned, his gaze fixed on the shadows that danced along the cliffs. "The tales of the Isle of Shadows speak of illusions, of creatures that prey on the minds of men. Then we shall forge a path through the darkness with our will," Odysseus proclaimed, gathering his warriors around him. "We are the sons of Ithaca, forged in honor and bravery. Fear has no place among us." As dawn broke, they set foot upon the land, the air thick with an unshakable tension. The landscape was a haunting blend of twisted trees and ethereal fog, each step drawing them deeper into a web of uncertainty. The whispers of the past echoed in the wind, igniting memories of battles fought and lost. Suddenly, a figure emerged from the shadows, a spectral apparition, shimmering like moonlight. It hovered before them, its voice a haunting echo. "Brave Odysseus, son of Laertes, why have you come to this forsaken isle?" "We seek the creature that threatens our home," he answered, his voice unwavering despite the chill that crept into his bones. "We will not allow darkness to consume Mythica." The apparition's gaze pierced through him, revealing the weight of countless souls lost to despair. To face the creature, you must first confront your greatest fears. Only by embracing the shadows within can you hope to conquer the darkness without. As the figure faded, a surreal mist enveloped them, distorting the world around them. Odysseus felt the grand drift beneath his feet, a swelling abyss of memories rising to the surface, visions of Ajax's laughter, the pain of loss, the fear of failure. The shadows twisted into forms. He recognized the faces of his fallen comrades, their eyes filled with sorrow. "Do not let them draw you in," Yumi shouted, gritting his teeth against the onslaught of emotions. "We are warriors, we have faced darkness before." But the shadows whispered sweetly, entwining themselves around Odysseus' heart like chains. "You will never be enough, Odysseus. You have lost, and you will lose again. Can you protect all that you hold dear?" "Silence!" Odysseus roared, the fury of his soul igniting a fire within. "I will not succumb to despair. I fight for my home, for my family, and for the honor of those who have sacrificed everything." With that declaration, the shadows recoiled, the mist swelling violently around them. The air crackled with energy as the darkness began to dissipate, revealing a path through the fog. The warriors stood resolute, their hearts bolstered by Odysseus' courage. "Onward," he commanded, leading them forward. "We must face this creature and end the cycle of torment." As they pressed deeper into the isle, a rumble echoed through the earth, shaking them to their core. A colossal figure broke through the mist, a behemoth of chaos, forged from the very essence of nightmares. Its eyes glowed like molten fire, and its roar pierced the heavens, a sound that threatened to shatter their resolve. "Behold, the creature of shadows!" Diomedes shouted, his voice steady. "We must fight." With a roar, the creature lunged, its massive body crashing through the trees. Odysseus raised his sword, the blade gleaming with the light of their collective hope. "Stand firm, my brothers, we face this darkness as one." The warriors surged forward, a flurry of blades and shields against the encroaching beast. They struck with precision, but the creature retaliated, swatting them aside like mere insects. Eumaeus was thrown back, landing hard against the ground, gasping for breath. "Eumaeus," Odysseus called out, his heart racing. He turned back to the creature, focusing all his fury into a single, desperate assault. "You will not take my men." The creature roared again, and Odysseus fought through the pain, pushing himself to the limits. "Remember Ajax," he shouted, rallying his warriors. "We bear his legacy, fight for the fallen, fight for Ithaca." With renewed vigor, they pressed on. The creature's eyes blazed with rage as they circled it, striking at its vulnerable spots. Telemachus found his footing, rallying beside his father. "Father, we can do this together." Together. Odysseus echoed, their spirits entwined in the heat of battle. They struck with unyielding determination, each thrust of their weapons fueled by memories of those lost, each cry an invocation of honor. But the creature was relentless, and as they fought, Odysseus felt the shadows creeping back, taunting him with visions of defeat. What if you fail again, Odysseus? What if you lose everything? No, he shouted, his voice breaking through the haze. I will not be defined by my failures. I am a son of Ithaca, and I will fight until my last breath. As if in response to his defiance, the creature staggered, its form shimmering with uncertainty. The warrior seized a moment, rallying around Odysseus. Now, he yelled, his heart pounding with courage. Strike true. With one powerful thrust, Odysseus plunged his sword deep into the beast's heart, the blade shimmering with the strength of every sacrifice made. The creature howled, a final scream that echoed through the air, and then, in a burst of light, it dissolved into mist, leaving behind only silence. They stood together, panting and bloodied, the echoes of battle fading like shadows at dawn. The weight of victory settled over them, yet within Odysseus' heart lingered the familiar ache of loss. They had conquered yet another darkness, but their journey was far from over. We honor those who came before us, Odysseus said, his voice thick with emotion. Ajax and all who fought and fell, their spirits guide us forward, ever stronger. Telemachus stepped beside him, his eyes shining with pride. We did it, father, together. We faced the darkness. And we shall continue to face it, Odysseus replied, gazing toward the horizon. For the trials of fate are relentless, but so is our resolve. As they sailed back to Ithaca, the sun rose on the horizon, a new dawn illuminating their path. Though the shadows of the past lingered, the fires of honor burned bright within their hearts. They were warriors of Ithaca, forged in sacrifice and honor, and